Learning gives creativity. Creativity leads to thinking. Thinking provides knowledge. Knowledge makes you great. History has proven that those who dare to imagine the impossible are the ones who break all the human limitations. We should know how to handle, not only how to handle the success, how to handle the failure. Because any task you do, you have to come across problem. Problem should not become the captain of the individual or the project chief. The project chief should become the captain of the problems and defeat the problem and succeed. Learning gives creativity. Creativity leads to thinking. Thinking provides knowledge. Knowledge makes you great. History has proven that those who dare to imagine the impossible are the ones who break all the human limitations. In every field of human endeavor, whether science, medicine, sports, arts or technology, the names of the people who imagined the impossible are engraved in our history. By breaking the limits of their imagination, they change the world. You take C.V. Raman, you take Newton, you take Einstein, you take Chandrasekhar. By breaking the limits of their imagination, they change the world. If you want to be discoverers, if you want to be innovators, I am going to give you what type of characteristic you must have. Invention and discoveries have emanated from creative minds that have been constantly working and imagining the outcome. The telephone, he was imagining the outcome in the mind. With the imaging and constant effort, all the forces of the universe work for that inspired mind, thereby leading to invention discoveries.
Sir, I would like to hear from you a few tips for the upcoming generation to succeed in life.
Well, succeeding life, I have already told you.
Yes, sir.
You have to do 4 things, okay? Number 1, great aim.
Great aim.
I will have great aim.
I will have great aim.
I will continuously acquire knowledge.
Continuously acquire knowledge.
Oh, I will do hard work.
I will do hard work.
I will persevere.
I will persevere.
And succeed.
And succeed.
Okay, that's the mantra.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
You have many accomplishments. You've written books. You've served as president. You're an aerospace engineer. You've been a professor. But you say the title you like best is the title of teacher. Why is that?
You know, I had a teacher. when I was a young boy, 10 years boy, wartime, the Second World War going on. At that time, I used to see in my class, 5th class teacher, in science teacher, he entered the classroom and we used to see the radiation of knowledge from him, When he enters the classroom, my teacher, I see a radiation of purity of life. And the way he taught, my dream got shaped. What should be my way of life? He is the person, the teacher gave me the vision of my life when I was a young fellow. Now a teacher has got a fantastic opportunity to grow minds, to enrich the minds and give the dreams to the young people and nurture the dreams with them, and they will become a great human being. Sometime they will become better than you, but better than the teacher. So that opportunity you have. I will have great aim. I will continuously acquire knowledge. I will do hard work. I will persevere and succeed. Great lesson of which no university taught me, no book taught me, but that one person, that institution taught me such a big lesson. How to manage success, most importantly the failure. How to live a good life, how to live a beautiful life without thinking which country you belong, without thinking which religion you belong, without thinking which language you belong, without thinking which caste you belong. To represent the indomitable spirit of a man. Wherever there is indomitable spirit of man, the man succeeds, the woman succeeds, the village succeeds, the state succeeds, the country succeeds, the world succeeds. The indomitable spirit. Sri Dhirubhai Ambani has a mission and a great entrepreneur who had seen successes. For success, any mission, what we need is indomitable spirit. Let us study the characteristics of an indomitable spirit. It has two components. Indomitable spirit has got two components. The first component is that there must be a vision leading to higher goals of achievement. I would like to recall a couplet, the Tirukkural, by the poet Saint Thiruvalluvar, written in 2000 years ago. It means that whatever may be the depth of the river or lake or pond, whatever they may be the conditions of the water, the lily flower always comes out of and blossoms. Similarly, if there is a definite determination to achieve a goal, even if it is impossible to achieve, the man succeeds. This is one of the components of the indomitable spirit. The second one, that many of us have gone through large programs and projects. We would have experienced the success is not in sight and there are many hurdles. Hurdles created by man, hurdle created by the nature of the program, hurdle created by the technology. All this is possible in a major program like what wealth generation. It means that successful leaders can never be defeated by problems. They become the master of the situation and they defeat the problems. Now friends, the indomitable spirit is defined by these two conditions. I consider these two Tirukkurals characteristics characterize the indomitable spirit of Dhirubhai Ambani. Whenever he encountered problems, he gave the problems to the problems. He inhibited the indomitable spirit in successfully implementing the complex missions. Growth is life. I have repeated a number of times. I don't mind repeating that one incident. That incident for me is a university education. I have not read anywhere. I have so far I have gone round the orbit 71 times around the sun. I have not gone through any education, such a beautiful education I got in 1979, 1980 period. I thought of sharing with you on this occasion. It is like this, 1979, August 17th, we were ready for launch of a satellite launch vehicle with 44 subsystems and thousands of components. It was built in Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, and at that time, Professor Satish Dhawan was the chairman Atomic Energy Space Commission, and he is also Space Center. And he gave me the task in 1973 to build a satellite launch vehicle, to put the satellite in the orbit. 1973, he gave me this task. In 79, we were ready, thousands of engineers, 10,000 of workers and staff, they all worked together. Then we moved the satellite launch vehicle from Vikram Sarabhai Space Center to the now Satish Dhawan Space Center at Sriharikota. So the launch vehicle was in the launch pad, and that day, 17th August 1979, and I am the mission director, project director, and we are all in the control center, and computer takes over. Up T-minus 8 minutes, computer will take over, because it's very difficult for me as a mission director to check hundreds of parameters. So it has to be checked. Computer, we hand over the whole launch of the rocket system to the computer. So when T-minus 8 minutes came, I handed over to the computer for the launch on 17th August 1979. And thousands of people are waiting for the launch mission centers, and they are working throughout the country and some downrange stations. Exactly at T-minus 8 minutes, computer took over. And then at T-minus 4 minutes, computer put a hold. It says, don't launch. So we are all, because at that time, the whole rocket system is alive, and every explosive system, propellant system, electronic system, all are on ready to launch. Computer says, don't launch. At T-minus 4 minutes, then immediately a computer printout comes out. There's some problem in the second stage control system. There's a leakage, so you don't launch. Behind me, there are a number of experts, 6-7 experts, my expert 10 years, 20 years experienced people. I turn to them, and they are their computers to find out what happened, and they tell me within a minute. They say there's a problem in the second stage control system and we cannot launch. Computer says, but we believe as experts, the igniter, that is oxidizer, is sufficiently more there. Even though there's a leakage in the system, you can launch. They asked me to launch. That is, I can say to the computer to shut off the computer. I can manually launch the rocket system. I discussed with my experts, I believed in them, I agreed with them, I am responsible for it. I immediately put the rocket in manual mode. So rocket took off, 100 seconds, beautiful launch, and the rocket first stage did its job. It's a 4-stage rocket system. Then the second stage took off. Within a minute, within a second, it got it to spin. That means it should be steady. It's a controlled rocket system by a guidance system. But it was going to spin. I knew I lost the rocket system. Within few seconds, instead of putting the satellite in the orbit, the whole system went to Bay of Bengal. So it was a failure. And then how do you handle a failure? It's very important for entrepreneurs. Life is not so simple. We have to handle the failures with stout heart. My chairman, That is the Professor Satish Dhawan. Exactly at 6:30, I was very tired of continuously working. He come to my room, you join me for a press conference. On that day, the morning there's a press conference. Hundreds of press reporters, media people have assembled. Just Professor Satish Dhawan told me, I am going to handle the press conference. You are going to come with me. He took me there. And there was a press, the national press, international press. They asked a lot of questions. How can you put 20 crores in Bay of Bengal? One guy asked. And like that, so many serious questions. After all, people will ask questions, the people's money. So like that, number of questions were there. And Professor Satish Dhawan said, yes, it's a failure. First time we have launched, we have gained a lot of system, and definitely we will succeed. I will give all the support to my technologies. I will give all the supports to my scientists. We will succeed in a year's time, he said. Friends, did you observe what happened there? I am the mission director. I am the project director. I have failed the missions. With me, 5,000 people have worked. But Chairman, Indian Space Research Organization, he took the responsibility of the failure. He completely switched my failure to his failure. This is the leadership quality. Exactly after 1 year, that is 18th July 1980, we go to the launch pad and the countdown starts. T-8 minutes I hand over to the computer. Computer checks out. First stage, it initiates the rocket system. First stage gives the required velocity. Second stage gives the required velocity. Third stage gives the required velocity. And fourth stage required the escape velocity for to put the satellite in the orbit. I am seeing in front of me what is the performance taking place. I took the microscope, I put the mic, I announced all the station. Here is your mission director. The satellite is in the orbit and we congratulate you, I told them. Now that's not the important, that's one of the important things happened. But after 30 minutes, Vikram Satish Dhawan called me. Go for press conference, you conduct the press conference, he said. Can you see the significance? Failure he took it, success he gave me to my team. It is a great lesson. It's a great lesson.
President said, and there in May we saw first time how 48 degrees Celsius will be there and outside, the outside temperature. And then midday we conducted a test, and that made India a nuclear weapon state. And that also gave me another type of happiness. Then I said, okay, these are all some different, some space. I said we prepare for the nation, I prepared for the nation, India 2020 vision. How by the year 2020 India can be an economically developed nation. We give a blueprint, a roadmap in 1998 with a complete area specified and what should be done. And this book, finally a book also come, India 2020 is famous book, and all these things, another work, and including parliament discussed and politically they accepted in those days. So all this things happened. But she was nothing impressed my student. You know student, when you are taking class you will know. She said, I didn't ask all these things, but you give me one thing which gave you bliss, anand, you know. Bliss means anand, equivalent is anand. Now, finally, I told her, see, when I was in DRDL Hyderabad, I was working as a director of the establishment. And also my specialization composite material, how to make a composite material. The Agni missile, the introduction I gave for Agni, carry what is called a heat shield, because when it re-enters with 15 times the sound speed, re-entry time before 2000 kilometers goes, the temperature outside will be normally 4500 degree Kelvin. It will be burning, it's a flame. That means inside the nose cone, inside the heat shield, the material what you carry, it may be any important material, and that should be in temperature, the room temperature what you are having. This is the requirement. So we developed a material what is called carbon-carbon material. So you know carbon composite. This carbon-carbon material, we developed at the tip we have put this fellow, so that whenever temperature, very high temperature flame comes in, this will protect the inside, will be always 25, 28 degrees Celsius. So this very light material we used. So this is called heat shield for Agni. One day a orthopedic friend, Professor B.N. Prasad, at that time he was in Nizam Institute of Medical Science. He is an orthopedic surgeon. One day he was visiting me. Orthopedic surgeon was visiting my lab. I showed him the precious thing, the heat shield. He lifted, he found it's very light, very light, very light. He was always saying very light. And heavy. Strength also, you say very high temperature, strength also very low. So strength will be kept always. So all this thing was highly impressed. He said, Kalam, I want to take you to my orthopedic ward in Nizam Institute of Medical Science. So he put me in his car, took me to the hospital, and took me to the orthopedic ward, where are 30-40 people who are having knee surgery. And about 15 young boys and girls, they had the caliper fitted. You know, for a polio patient, they fit the caliper. That caliper, both caliper put together weighs 4 kilograms. He told me, see that as soon as we went, they were removed that caliper, they did not wear it. As soon as they saw the doctor, immediately started fitting it. So heavy, it's so uncomfortable. He told me, you see the scene, and you have got a fantastic material. What the use of missile? Why not you use that material, missile material? Use it for this, my children. So we took it as a challenge. We took dimension. We took 22 molds we made in 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time. And then we got 15 calipers. We call it FRO, floor reaction orthosis, FRO. And I took it to the hospital with my team, composite team, and we fitted to each child. And child, when they were so light, they started running. Because that 4 kilogram becomes 400 gram. 4 kilogram, 1/10, 400 gram. The children were so happy, and they started running. When the mother saw this one, they thought, I saw the tears. I said, that was the bliss I got, I told. So all of you, my feeling is that answers as my student. All of you are fortunate to be in a noble profession, to remove the pain with compassion and experience. Very important. See, one is treatment, another is compassion. Both today I was in Tiruvallur at a school. One girl asked me now question, but 12 questions were there. One question she asked. Before her question I answered, I asked what class you are studying. The girl said, I am 10 plus 1. What subject you have taken? She said medical subject she has taken. That is biology, medical science, and physics, bioscience. All these things she has taken. And I hope you are becoming a doctor. I said, yes, My dream is to become a doctor so that I can remove the pain, she said. Fantastic statement the girl made. I want to remove the pain. But I said, my answer was, normally we all of us, human beings, we have one biological heart, isn't it? Always you and me, all of us got one biological heart. But doctors should have two hearts, I said. Apart from biological heart, they must have one more heart. So the question I asked, what is the second heart? Nobody can. Finally I said, it's a kind heart. Because doctor service, medical service needs compassion to the patient. Because you find not one patient. You have to treat hundreds of patients with pain. In that environment, you have need kindness and compassion. So I visualize all the doctors. They've got two hearts. Good doctors. Now, medical profession, one of the important thing, friends, when I see Dr. Sanjeevi's life, Dr. Ramurthi's life, and all your life, I see one great quality we need, what is called culture of excellence. Culture of excellence. All of you can hear me? Yes. Last row? Yes. Now, friends, you will belong to the medical community of multiple fields. You should stand for a culture of excellence. The excellence not by accident. It is a process where an individual continuously strives to better oneself. The performance standards are set by themselves. They work on their dreams with focus and are prepared to take calculated risk and do not get deterred by failures as they move towards their dreams. Then they step up their dreams as they tend to reach the original targets. They strive to work to their potential. In the process, they increase their performance, thereby multiplying further their potential. This is an unending life cycle phenomena, culture of excellence. They are not in competition with anyone else but themselves. That is a culture of excellence. I am sure each one of you will aspire to become a unique with culture of excellence, because that is needed. When you see a patient and the diagnostic method has changed and the treatment methods have changed and you are the one area you have to be completely updated continuously. That means your knowledge should continuously needs addition. Friends, medicine, when I am seeing all of you, medicine is undergoing a paradigm shift. The understanding of genome, the dynamics of proteins, and the ability of technology to see various processes of the cells have zeroed on to inflammation. Inflammation as the root of all the diseases. You will agree. Now, with these discoveries also came a scientific advances in understanding the underlying mechanisms of disease, leading to innovative therapies that focus on addressing the cause of disease instead of just treating symptoms. It is essential our medical scientists and clinicians working in the field of healthcare and research have to revisit traditional pharmacological approaches to medicine and healthcare and develop scientific treatment protocols to use them for many acute and chronic disease and disorders. Now, when I am telling you in 2013, that is last year, cancer research found a sea change in research and development, because I visited Anderson Laboratory in USA. According to the Science Journal, it's called the Advanced of Sciences, AAS, promising results emerged from the clinical trials of cancer immunotherapy, in which treatment target the body's immune system rather than tumors directly. Tumor follow, in cancer, you will treat something, it will come somewhere else. Okay, so the question is, the 2013 research says the immune system targets the body's immune system in which rather than the tumors directly. The treatment pushed T cells and other immune cells to combat cancer. So far, this process works only for certain cancer and few patients. It is considered to be an important scientific breakthrough. Though the ultimate impact on the disease is not known, it was reported the results so far have been highlighting its success. It is possible immunotherapy in future may find solution for many other diseases. Only person I can ask Anda Amma whether it's possible. I was there a few weeks back at Edinburgh University. I saw something I thought sharing to the young doctors. Professor Chandran, in one of the laboratory, showed his work on deploying technologies typically used for eye care professionals and use it to detect neural disorders. Let me read it. Professor Chandran, he is from Edinburgh University, a laboratory I visited, cancer laboratory, showed his work on deploying technologies typically used by eye care professionals and use it to help detect neural disorders. Using optical scanner devices, his team is mapping the inside of the eye, particular retina. They are going further and targeting the optical nerve, a small opening into the retina which carries neurons and photoreceptors from the eye to the brain. Using the advanced technology, they are able to peep down the optical nerves in the specific region of the brain and make a longitudinal and cross-section image of it. He showed me a number of images. These images clearly show any odd neural pattern or any potentially at risk neural form. Thus, using this technology, Professor Chandran and his team is able to direct early disorders and administer preventive care in the typical area. Now, friends, I would like to say that 6 virtues of medical care, one we have to possess, whoever the medical care. Let me now share with you 6 virtues which a medical caregiver should possess. This I have read in a book titled Medicine and Compassion, authored by Rinpoche, Buddhist monk Rinpoche, co-authored by David Arsham MD. It's a nice book. Name of the book, Compassion and Medical Care. According to the authors, first virtue is generosity. That is, the doctor should have a mind of generosity. Second virtue is pure ethics. Because just now I had a specialist in ethics area is here, ethics area. And that's I am very happy to know. May I know, sir, who is that, sir, who is special medical ethics? That Hegde. PM Hegde. Okay, so first virtue is generosity. The second virtue is pure ethics. Third is tolerance. Because you will be in the midst of pain. They are doctor or nurses. They are in the midst of pain. That's why tolerance. The fourth is perseverance. Doctor never gives up. Never gives up. He will always say, I can save this situation or prevent the disease or cure the disease. Fifth is cultivating pure concentration. When you see a patient, he should feel my doctor sees me through, not just keep a thermoscope and get away. And the way you treat the patient, he feels the cultivating the pure concentration of the patient. The last virtue is intelligent. That means no field in the country, in any part of the world, it needs updating. Because medical field in equipment, in diagnosis, in treatment, continuously every day it's changing. Fortunately, internet is there. These virtues will empower the caregivers with a humane heart. I am sure the medical who are present here and elsewhere will have all these 6 virtues that will reinforce confidence of the citizen in the healthcare system. So finally, in conclusion, I would like to say what I will be remembered for. What I will be remembered for. First, friends, I want to leave you with a thought today. What is the one action which will make you great? Every one of you has a page in the history of the world. What is that page? How do you make that page which is going to be referred by the prosperity? There is a need to give a vision to your ambition. What I will be remembered for, what I will be, each one of us has to ask the question, what I will be remembered for. And if you find an answer for this question in a few lines, that of out-of-box idea will drive you for the rest of your life. You will definitely thinking something different on our out-of-box mission. What are they? Can I visualize along with you? I am not a doctor, but I want to visualize along with you. Each one of you will derive your own vision to remember. For example, you see this light. When you see this light, immediately we remember a personality. Even though electricity was discovered, Faraday, long ago, but application was given a person, Thomas Alva Edison. When the light you see Thomas Alva Edison. When the telephone bell rings, you remember Alexander Graham Bell. So, what a lady who got 2 Nobel Prizes, you will remember Madame Curie, because one for discovery of radium, another she treated cancer patient using the radium. For both she got 2 Nobel Prizes. So they are all unique people. So what I will be remembered for, you will be definitely thinking something different. And out-of-box mission today, what are they? You are going to say today what I will be remembered for. Can I visualize along with each one of you will derive your own vision. I am not putting boundary condition. Will you be remembered for bringing smiles of health and joy to all the patients? When the patient reaches you, you will be having haunted by patients. But smile, can you wear the smiles? Will you be remembered for helping creating a unique cost-effective vaccine against malaria? Malaria is not going out of our country. And thereby saving more than 1 million people, mostly children, and who are in trouble. Will you be remembered for creating a roadmap for reviving the 23,000 primary healthcare centers across the nation, which would enable them to deliver the much needed primary health facilities to a remote region? Madras doctors want to be in Madras. Nobody wants to go to the primary health centers. Will you be remembered as a champion of preventive? This is very important, sir. Will you be remembered as a champion of a preventive healthcare in the areas of cardiology, diabetic, and infectious diseases? Because you would be the great teacher. You are treating a patient. Patient doesn't come alone. He comes with his family. And when the patient gets cured, you become a teacher. When you teach, when you tell him why he got the disease, how it can be prevented, he will give you attention to you. He will care for you. Will you be remembered as a great teacher in preventive care for diseased families of patients? Will you be remembered for contributing in a unique way in finding a cure for diseases such as cancer and HIV? Now friends, my best wishes to all of you for success in your mission of removing the pain of the needy patient.
A four-line poem-like thing called creativity. I would have made at least million children to repeat it, okay? Million children repeat, I will say, and they will repeat it. So I am going to say a few words about creativity. Learning gives creativity. Creativity leads to thinking. Thinking provides knowledge. Knowledge makes you great. So I am very happy, Wharton, you are thinking of knowledge at Wharton. It's a beautiful idea. My greetings to all of you.
I wonder if you could start by talking about your past. You were born in Rameshwaram in 1931. What are the biggest differences you see between India as it was then and India today?
Well, I have orbited around the sun 76 times. You know what it means?
You're 76 years old.
Correctly you said it. So, in that 76 period, I have seen, and when I was a young boy, the Second World War coming into an end. And then I saw the effect of war and injuries, healing. I saw India attaining the freedom 1915 when I was a schoolboy. I saw 1947, August 15, 1947, India achieving its freedom. It was a great, happy moment. I have seen the economic ascent phase in India 1991, 92. Ascent phase started. Till then we had a lot of difficulties. I have worked with visionaries like Professor Vikram Sarabhai and Satish Dhawan, Dr. Brahm Prakash. I have seen a green revolution. I have seen white revolution. I have seen telecom revolution and growth of ICT, that is information communication technology. And I was involved in India's space program. It is one of our most successful program in the country. And self-sufficiency in the strategic weaponry.
You just spoke about your involvement with India's rocket program. In fact, I know that you were also very involved with India's missile program and that you earned the nickname the Missile Man of India. Could you please tell us about that experience and what were the main lessons you learned?
Well, it is like this. I worked to Indian Space Research Organization for about 20 years. There only we achieved putting a satellite in the orbit, building a 4-stage rocket system. Then I took up the integrated guided missile program with my team. I means the team. And youthful teams were fortunately were my team members, and they have worked together, and we have great value addition because the youth power and the program, particularly such a strategic missile program, succeeded. And the most important area is human resource development. So the program are in safe hands now. I learned one of the important thing in these programs, both space program, missile program, we should know how to handle not only how to handle the success, how to handle the failures. Particularly you are in the management environment, Wharton. I want the young people to understand how to manage the failure. Because any task you do, you have to come across problem. Problem should not become the captain of the individual or the project chief. And the project chief should become the captain of the problems and defeat the problem and succeed. So this is what I have learned.
You played a key role in India's nuclear program in 1998. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, the main lesson I learned was how multiple technical teams and multiple departments of government of India could work together with the industrial partnership. That is one unique thing. How many people many teams can work together, get things done as a national need. This is it's a big experience I gained.
You are known to be a deeply spiritual person. Have you ever felt guilty or conflicted about developing nuclear weapons? Why or why not?
I realized that for my country's development, peace is essential. Peace comes out of strength. Strength respects the strength. Peace, that is how weaponized missiles were born. So the only strength you need, minimum strength, to keep the nation peaceful, and so that you can enter into the necessary developmental missions. That's how I look at it.
How did you come to become India's president? What leadership qualities do you think are needed to lead a country that is so huge, so complex, and so chaotic?
Well, I won't say chaotic. Every, the type of order comes out of disorder, okay? This is what's happening now. I was elected as a president of India 2002-2007 through a well-structured election process. Now, the leader, not only to become the president, you need to give any political leadership or technological leadership. You have to have 6 traits one leader should have. And what are the 6 traits? Number 1, leader must have a vision. Without a vision, he will not be a leader, he or she. So leader must have a vision. The second one, leader must be able to travel into an unexplored path. Normally tendency to travel the, well laid out path. But the leader, he takes a path of untraveled path. Third thing, leader must know how to manage success, most importantly the failure. Any mission he does or she does, so he has to go through some failure. They should know how to manage the failures.
Could you give us an example from your own experience about managing failure?
Well, my own experience like this, 1973, I became the project director for satellite launch vehicle program, SLV-3 it is called, to put a Rohini satellite in the orbit by 1980. When the management structure I was given, money I was given, and then human power I was given, only they said by 1980 you must put the satellite in the orbit, making a rocket. So thousands of people worked for that, say a scientific technical team. So when the time came, 1979, I think it's in August, we launched, I was in the mission director, project director. I was the control center. I was the mission director. We handed over to the computer to do the process of checking the launch vehicle T-minus 4 minutes and launch it. After 1 minute in the computer, checkered computer put a hold. For some reasons, they said a display was there. It said some component is not doing well, control component. My experts told me, I have always behind me 4 or 5 experts will be there. And they quickly calculated in computer. They told me, don't worry, there is a lot of reserve fuel is there. We will succeed. So I bypassed the computer. I went on manual, launched the rocket system. Okay, and it's a 4-stage rocket. The first stage worked beautifully. As soon as the second stage separated,
it got into trouble. Instead of satellite going in the orbit, the whole rocket system went into Bay of Bengal. Okay, so it was a big failure. So that day, Indian Space Research Organization Chief, Professor Satish Dhawan, there's a press conference, 7 o'clock we launched. 7:45 there's a press conference, the whole world press is there in Sririkota at launch base. So I still remember the chairman of the organization, the leader of the organization, taking the press conference. I was by his side. He said, we have failed. First time we tried to attempted, and this failure really makes us to believe we have to give more technological support to my team, and they worked very hard. Definitely in a year they will succeed. So I was a mission director, I was a project director, I am responsible for the failure. And he took the responsibility of failure as a chairman of the organization, and the leader of the organization. Next year, 1980, July, we succeeded. The whole nation was jubilant. There was a press conference. Professor Satish Dhawan told me, you go and take the press conference. Okay? The message is, when the failure occurred, the leader of the organization owned the leader failure. When the success came, he gave to his team. That the best management principle I have not learned previously, any books have not taught me. I learned from that experience. Okay?
That's a beautiful story. Thank you very much for sharing that.
Next one, fourth point, leader must have a courage to take decision. That's our problem today throughout the world. Leader must have a courage to take decision. Fifth one, leader should have a nobility in management. I mean, nobility in management a big question mark. So I believe leader should have a nobility in management. Every action of the leader should be transparent. You know what I mean? Leader should work with integrity and succeed with integrity. Leader should work with integrity and succeed with integrity. And I believe President, since you asked the question, has to be continuously in touch with the people. Rashtrapati Bhavan, where I was there, became a People's Bhavan. Instead of Rashtrapati Bhavan, it becomes People's Bhavan. And also I travel into the whole state, cutting across hill, deserts and sea. I was in touch with millions and millions of people.
You had a vision for India in 2020. It was that gradually the differences between the countryside and the cities would disappear. Could you please explain your concept of the Pura and how that leads to this transformation?
I'm glad you have studied my website, and I have explained the Pura concept in the keynote address. I'm going to do it today. Briefly, Pura is about giving a cluster of villages physical, electronic and knowledge connectivity so that the economic connectivity can emerge. We planned about 7,000 Puras for the whole nations, and it called Hill Pura, Coastal Pura and Plain Pura. And we believe this system, the Pura system, will bring the economic connectivity. That means employment generation potential increases, and I believe through Pura we are saying, and the employment generation capacity, empowering the people for employment, is indeed very vital in the rural environment so that prosperity will emerge.
You have spoken about the need for India to become energy independent by the year 2030. How would that happen?
Today all our fossil fuel dominating the energy sector throughout the world. The World Energy Forum predicts another 5 to 8 decades the fossil fuel will vanish.
because it is not renewable. So I have given to my country what is called energy independence. It's a three-dimensional approach. Number one, you go for solar power. Now solar power with solar cell efficiency today, 15-20%, is not economical. So I have suggested we should go for a CNT, carbon nanotube composite combination. That efficiency will go up, the solar cell efficiency will go up in the CNT background to 45-55%. Many of the research institutions are busy. In 3 to 5 years' time is going to come. So first is solar power source. Second is in nuclear power. Since we have got a abundant thorium-based nuclear reactors, definitely is one of the clean solution for the second area. Third area is the biofuel. Biofuel, one is ethanol route, another is biodiesel, jetafar route. This combination, all the three, definitely will give a freedom from the fossil fuel, and also it going to have an environment, clean environment, because by fossil fuel the cars what you drive here in Wharton, what you drive in Philadelphia, what we drive in India, what we drive in New York, what we drive in London, all 30 billion tons of carbon dioxide we are pumping. So to come out of that, energy independence.
Technology plays an important role in your vision for India's future. How do social grids help make India a developed country?
So what I believe is called societal grid. Societal grid has got three grids. One is Pura grid, and the another is e-governance grid, another is health grid. The idea is that knowledge grid empowers the village citizens with skill and knowledge. Health grid brings the super specialty health care available in the city to the doorstep of the rural citizens. E-governance grid, another grid is called e-governance grid, brings transparent governance. Is very important, but transparent governance to the citizen. And also all these four grids, the economic, it will lead to economic growth and societal transformation, because communication in all areas are available.
During your years as India's president, what was the biggest leadership challenge you faced, and how did you overcome it?
Well, first time I had to return what is called Office of Profit Bill to the Parliament. For the reason I felt there was no transparent system of determining a post as an Office of Profit or not. So that is a major decision, because it's first time I happened to study that. I have to return it to the Parliament for reconsideration. It created its own dynamics in my country, but I felt I had done the right thing there.
If you could rewind and replay the years of your presidency, is there anything that you would do differently? Is there anything that you would have liked to do that you weren't able to?
Yeah, last year I came up with the idea after finishing my 4 years term, and 5th year term starting at that time. I felt I must completely power the Rashtrapati Bhavan with solar power, and for that a big proposal also emerged, and but then it created a lot of environmental questions. Rashtrapati Bhavan is a very clean environment with a lot of trees, flowers, and biodiversity centers. So the environmental people, they raised a lot of questions. Before I answered, my term was over. So that's one of the requirements, that is Rashtrapati Bhavan should be a first home in the country electrified by solar power.
One last question. You are a gifted poet. Could you please recite some lines of your favorite poem for us?
I remember the favorite poem is The Vision. The Vision. I recited this poem in my parliament. So I will share with you. The poem goes like that. The name is The Vision. I climbed and climbed. Where is the peak, my lord? I climbed and climbed. Where is the peak, my lord? I plowed and plowed. Where is the knowledge treasure, my lord? I plowed and plowed. Where is the knowledge treasure, my lord? I sailed and sailed. Where is the island of peace, my lord? I sailed and sailed. Where is the island of peace, my lord? Almighty, bless my nation with vision and sweat resulting into happiness. Resulting into happiness.
You have spoken and written a lot about innovation, about how India can be a developed country, and of late you've written very specifically just a few days ago about how India can be a powerful country in 2030. Could you tell us and tell our young audience here what innovation means to you, why it's important to India, and how you view India as taking innovation and moving forward?
Thank you, my friend Deepak Amin, and also I'd like to greet Professor R.K. Sugankar and all the IIT students. I'm very happy in your company. And first of all, friends, I felt I must define discovery, invention and innovation. Discovery, invention and innovation. What are the relationship? I want to, so that we understand what we are going to discuss. Now, discovery, as you all know, relates to finding new laws, a principle and concept. Example, Raman effect is a discovery. Einstein energy equation is a discovery. Chandrasekhar Chandra's limit is a discovery. Okay? Now, invention from the basic theory evolved finding new system. For example, Graham Bell's telephone is an invention. Graham Bell telephone is an invention. And Thomas Alva Edison's light and bulb, it is an invention. Marconi's wireless system is an invention. Now, what is innovation? Question is, what is the relationship? The change that creates a new dimension to performance is the innovation. Change that creates a new dimension is the innovation. It's the definition for Peter Drucker. Now, example, you take telephone. A telephone was Graham Bell. Telephone and wireless communication is equal to, you may get a mobile telephone and its variants. And its application is a great example of innovation. That is, the mobile telephone, mobile system, mobile telephone becomes an innovation. Internet is invention. Internet is an invention. Cable television is another invention. Using internet to deliver cable TV over a computer is an innovation. Followed? Yes or no? Dr. Manilal Bhaumik's invention is excimer laser. He invented laser. The laser itself discovery. Laser is a discovery, but Dr. Manilal Bhaumik's invention is excimer laser. And application of excimer laser for eye surgery is innovation. Can you see the difference between the discovery and the invention and innovation? You got it? Yes or no? Now let me ask a professional choice, friends, among you. What are your professional choices? So that my discussion will relate to innovation linked to your professional dream. So I want to ask you, how many of you like to pursue research career? How many of you? So, okay, good number, good. I'm very happy, good number, okay. How many of you, same hand should not lift. How many of you would like to enter political governance area? Political and governance area. Nice guy, nice guys. I'm very happy to see young fellows want to enter politics, make a big change, okay? Next one. How many of you would like to become a general entrepreneurs. General entrepreneurs. General entrepreneurs. Okay. How many of you want to become social entrepreneurs? You know, there is a difference. You don't make a lot of money in social entrepreneurs. Whereas entrepreneur, you are an entrepreneur.
Yes, sir.
So they make a lot of money. Okay. How many of you want to become a social entrepreneur? Okay? Okay. Okay. Now I know where you are. Okay? Now, friends, let me talk to you, friends, the story of invention, inventors, discovery and discoverers. You can interact with me. Let us study the important inventors and their invention. When I say Wright brothers, immediately we remember, what is that? Aircraft, the two brothers. When people said it cannot be done, they have done it. George Eastman, can you think of? Film. George Eastman's color film he discovered. Thomas Edison, just now I told you, the light bulb. That's all innovation and inventors. Alexander Graham Bell, telephone. So these are all invention and inventors. Let us go to discoverers and discoveries. Albert Einstein, energy equation, E equal to mc square. Now Srinivasa Ramanujan, great mathematics man in India, produced number theory. He gave a shape to number theory. Chandrasekhar Subramanian, black hole, and also he established the Chandra limit. Use a small equation. Using the Chandra limit, you can calculate how long sun will shine. Now, all of you want to remember what I am saying, because if you want to be inventors, if you want to be discoverers, if you want to be innovators, I am going to give you what type of characteristic you must have. Invention and discoveries have emanated from creative minds that have been constantly working and imaging the outcome. The telephone, he was imaging the outcome in the mind. With imaging and constant effort, all the forces of the universe work for that inspired mind, thereby leading to invention discoveries. Now, higher the number of creative minds in an organization, the best results of innovation will emerge.
I just wanted to ask you, that
yes.
was a good sort of introduction to people about the differences between innovation and discovery. I'd love for the students here to get a little bit closer to you personally, meaning from your couple of projects, major projects that you've been involved in the past. We'd love to hear some interesting stories that involved innovation. I know you've been involved in some very exciting projects.
Yeah, first let me talk to you a story, then I'll come back to me. The story of IIT graduate transforming into an inventor. Okay? You want to hear that? How many of you want to hear? All of you. There is Dr. Manilal Bhaumik, is a PhD in quantum physics from IIT Kharagpur. Okay? He was invited by Professor Macmillan for doctorate research at UCLA. It's a California Institute of Technology, Los Angeles. Dr. Bhaumik comes from a village. You note this one. Dr. Bhaumik comes from a village where he stayed in a mud house. He explains his story in the book titled Code Name God. It's a paperback. Code Name God. Code Name God. He has written a nice book, God. The professor who was his guide, that's Macmillan, Professor Macmillan, who was his guide during the postdoctoral days, used to give him time between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. every week for 2 days in the library of the university. How many of you have patience to go to 2 a.m., 3 a.m.? That's real research. He gave 2 hours time and between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. he gave. And he used to go and meet the professor. Bhaumik used to go and meet the professor positively at that time for discussing his project. Concurrently, Dr. Bhaumik was working in Northrop Corporation Research and Technology Center in Los Angeles, LA. He was working there. During his research with his co-researcher, world's first efficient excimer laser, which later found extended use as an immensely popular LASIK corrective eye surgery, was invented. That's the inventor Baumik invented the excimer laser. Then it became an innovation for eye surgery, LASIK eye surgery. It is used today also. And later it got an application for eye surgery. Throughout the world is used. Dr. Baumik, successful innovator and celebrated innovator. Of course, you young fellows can dream for his life how to build 5 mansions in California. He has built 5 mansions in California. How do you like it? 5 mansions in California beach he has built. Because when he discovered the excimer laser, he became a rich fellow. Okay? Okay? So, now, since the IIT campus, Delhi, I am, a breakthrough has been achieved by developing composite knee joint IIT Delhi with reduced weight and flexible joint. It is cost effective, easy to wear, and is in production. It is already in production. IIT Delhi team with Professor Bharati Bhatt, now she is not there, Professor Bharati Bhatt and Professor Kaul has developed a C-band phase shifter for phased array radar in the country for the first time. We all used that C-band phase shifter for building a huge radar. One of the great innovation that happened, which I am involved, you asked, Deepak, you asked what I am involved. One of the great innovation that happened with two nation partnership is the development and production and marketing of the first supersonic cruise missile in the country. Now, this supersonic cruise missile, I was at that time working scientist, okay? The difference between a working scientist and non-working scientist. So when I was working in my laboratory, and I visited my Russian counterpart, and he's called Professor Yefimov. He showed me number of labs, and I found when it is a secret lab, when I found it's a defense laboratory like mine I was dealing, when I saw the item, there is some core competence uniquely I have not seen any lab in the world or in my country. So I noted the unique technology level 2 area we identified. Then I invited Professor Yefimov to my labs at RCA Research Center Imarat, Hyderabad. He came and he visited there, and he also located 2 unique core competencies. Then we found that Russia has got 2 unique core competencies, and India has got 2 unique core competencies. And if we bring them together, a unique system may emerge. That's how India's first supersonic cruise missile emerged. With the investment of $300 million, today it has become $10 billion business. This is really innovation. There is innovation technology, innovation marketing, and innovation in production. All the 3 areas there. Okay.
I think maybe based on what Dr. Kalam has said and based on the response I'm saying, maybe we can go directly into a Q&A session here. It'll make it a little bit more personal and more exciting for everybody.
Before that, I want to tell you, innovation, where are we? Innovation, where are we? India, where are we? You must know that, so that you guys get ready to do better things. Innovation index is the 2011. If you go to internet, you get 2011. Innovation, Switzerland number 1 innovation index. Okay, you are happy. Sweden number 2, Singapore number 3, Finland 5, USA 7, Canada 8, Germany 12, Japan 20, China 29, India, can you guess? 62. India 62. Now the question is how to convert the 62 into first 10 innovation index. Isn't that a good ambition? You must graduate with all the young people when I see. Definitely you must graduate to index number 10. Now, when I was a president in 2007, one great lady came from Finland. At that time, Finland 2007 number 1, index number 1. I asked the lady, tell me, how do you make your country number 1 nation in the innovation index? She told me, Education, education and right type of education and women education. That's what he said. Education, education and right type of education. Right type of education. That means creative education and women education. This is the answers he gave. So we need for innovation a creative education, capacity building, global human cadre, my recent experience, evolution of innovation. Now you can ask me questions. Shall we, all of you repeat with me if you don't mind? Will you? Yes, sir. Will you repeat or no? Yes, sir. Imagination leads to creativity. Creativity blossoms thinking. Thinking provides knowledge. Knowledge results innovation. Innovation make the nation. What? Innovation make the nation great. Great. Innovation make the nation great. So this is creative education. Any campus, what we need is if you want to innovation index go first 10, imagination leads to creativity. That means imagination, the classrooms should be imaginative, the teachers should be imaginative, syllabus should be imaginative. Okay? And the students also imaginative. Creative blossoms thinking. Starting point creativity. Thinking provides knowledge. Knowledge makes results innovation. And innovation makes the nation great. Okay? So if this we have understood, then we have to work for it, how to make the nation within the 10 numbers in 5 years' time. Okay? Will you do, all of you? Yes, sir. Otherwise, I'll catch you.
You were talking about what it means for us to take innovation to another level, to get to level 10.
Well, I believe if you want to create your education, just now I told you, first thing is the imagination leads to creativity, like that. You all repeated with me. And the parameters we need to just lift the index, creativity and the education system. Creativity in the education system. Through primary education and before, everywhere creativity has to come. Secondary education, higher education. In today's education, if you don't mind, I want to repeat it. In today's education system, biggest reform needed is primary education. Because that is the age 15 and the children have to be creative. If they have to be creative, you need a classroom creative, a syllabus creative, and teacher has to be creative. So that's the area we have to concentrate on. Now, regarding the higher education, like what you guys are doing, higher education, the following aspect will be considered. That is like IIT education, university education. Regarding the higher education, following aspect will be considered. What are they? Number one, research and inquiry. Research inquiry, if you index, that is index of innovation go to 10, research and inquiry has to be one of the component of the teaching and research. Second one is creativity and innovation. Third one, use of high technology. Fourth one, entrepreneurial leadership. Fifth one, moral leadership. And all the five components make the creative education. Okay? Now I want to tell for the student, young people, history has proven that those who dare to imagine the impossible are the ones who break all the human limitations. In every field of human endeavor, whether science, medicine, sports, arts or technology, the names of the people, just now I listed some of the names of the people who imagine the impossible are engraved in our history. By breaking the limits of their imagination, they change the world. You take C.V. Raman, you take Newton, you take Einstein, you take Chandrasekhar. By breaking the limits of their imagination, they change the world. The great, if you want to hear some examples, Yes, example. Now I'm going to give you two examples. One is the childhood, that young age, how they thought, what made them to imagine creative. Two story I'm going to tell you. When Albert Einstein was 5 years old, 5 years boy, his father showed him a pocket compass. Einstein realized that there must be something in the space previously thought to be empty that was moving the needle. Later stated, this experience made a deep and lasting impression. In a campus, if you see, the needle moves. Why it moves? He was a 5 years boy. So that created in his mind curiosity. As he grew, Einstein built models and mechanical devices for fun and began to show a talent for mathematics. Now, in 1889, family friend Max Talmud, a medical student, introduced a 10-year-old Einstein to a key science and mathematics textbook. It's called Euclid's Elements, Euclid's Elements. Einstein called it Holy Little Geometry. This geometry book, small book he got when he was a 10-year boy, he calls it Holy Book. Einstein began to understand deductive reasoning, and by the age of 12 he had learned Euclidean geometry. Soon after he began to investigate calculus. His father intended for him to pursue electrical engineering, but Einstein clashed with the authorities, resented the second regime. He later wrote that spirit of learning and creative thought were lost in the strict memory-oriented learning. So he became the new person because the two small books, they changed their life. Now, when everybody consider sea travel as an experience of voyage, when Sir C.V. Raman was traveling from UK to Calcutta, to London to Calcutta, he saw the sea was blue and the sky was blue in the horizon when sun was shining in the evening. He asked why, and he got a Nobel Prize. Okay, that means he was pondering why the horizon where the sky and sea meet looks blue. His research resulted the phenomena of inelastic scattering of photon in the light. For this discovery, C.V. Raman was awarded Nobel Prize. Any questions now?
Yeah, please ask questions, folks.
Good evening, sir. What is the problem with the research environment here? Why is there so much of, be it politics, be it so much of leg pulling, or why is it not so creative?
No, my view, what's your dream? Tell me, what's your dream?
She wants to innovate
for India. If that is so, see, it in the globalized world, knowledge workers movement definitely will take place. Okay, whether you are from India to another country or another country to India, knowledge workers will move. That is means people who have acquired the knowledge, there will be movement will be always there. Just like Indians will go, the people will come from other parts of India. Okay, so these phenomena you have to accept. How do we create a creative environment? My feeling is, I have seen, I went to Harvard, okay. A few weeks back I was in Harvard. In the Harvard, I visited, they call it engineering applied science. The engineering department, they call it engineering and applied science. There I saw 3 laboratories. One is innovation laboratory. In the innovation laboratory, they go and they can work themselves, they can have their partner. For example, I saw in the innovation laboratory of Harvard, 3 students, one from another from industry. They were working on how cable TV can be removed. That means how cable TV can work via the internet, like internet, that is IP, that is internet protocol in telephone system. How we can work the cable TV in the internet, they were working. Then I went to another laboratory, that is 2 professors I have met, 2 professors. And one professor is a biotechnology professor. He is working in the IT area, how the biotechnology can be used at the IT area. Similarly, the IT professor working in biotechnology. So what it means is the compartmentation in our system has been removed. No iron curtain between the departments. Second thing is, apart from what you are doing, there should be a provision for the students to innovate. That means in the time, free time, they must put their ideas, a laboratory, innovation laboratory should come.
You have a mic there?
Why there is no setup and no institution in the India that which comes to place people for research, for alternative fuel energy, alternative sources of energy?
No, it's a good point. You got a very good point. You see, what is happening, when you come to IIT, if you are outside, you are coming in your car or scooter, 1 liter petrol generate 2.8 kilogram of carbon dioxide, 1 liter. Okay? That's the point you are saying. Then imagine throughout the world they are using cars and trucks. Per year they generate 30 billion tons of carbon dioxide. That means we are damaging the ozone, and then the environment warming. That is the type of climate change we will be accelerating. So I have suggested what is called energy independence. By 2030, we must go for energy independence. That means we go away from fossil fuel. That is fuel, diesel, petrol, and coal, and this type of thing. You graduate from that to solar power, wind power, hydropower, and nuclear power, and biofuel. This is my 2030 we should achieve, so that 50% of fossil fuel usage can be reduced. And also, it is estimated by World Energy Forum, another 60 years' time, the availability of fossil fuel, oil, petrol, coal is go on reducing because it's not a renewable energy. So we have to get ready now itself for a clean fuel. Clean fuel, solar power, wind power, hydro power, and nuclear power, and biofuel. Okay? It's a good idea. Okay. Next.
Yes.
Sir, my name is Abhishek. I am a 4th year physics student. When it was pointed out that research environment is not good here and people are going abroad, you said that it's a phenomenon that people go abroad and from abroad people come here. But here I don't see any PhD student from abroad. But I see 95% of students here going for a PhD abroad. Don't you really think that the research environment here is demotivating?
Well, I say it's a fact. The India's in the higher education institutions. That's why I was telling you the syllabus, particularly undergraduate syllabus, where IIT or university, part of it has been research oriented. It's not only postgraduate or PhD. You have to for research. That research environment we have created. That means, what is the solution? The solution is, I have seen, whenever a experienced, the higher researchers level professor moves in the environment, and the university students' environment, he is like a magnet. He attracts students for research not only from the same institution, from multiple institutions, even from abroad. So the solution to that, we have to create a research environment. That means we have to create the teaching environment. After all, what is teaching? The higher the research, higher the teaching capacity. So research, teaching, research. So I personally believe that our universities and our IITs, time has come, we have to give priority for a research environment. But you are all fighting against the syllabus. Your syllabus you are fighting. So the reform has to come from the evolution of the new syllabus and the evolution of a new type of teaching system, and also the classrooms.
One question more before I take a break, and then we'll come back. How about in the back there?
Good evening, sir. My name is Rachit. I am a final year student here. So, do you think that we as a society are set up, to actually, tackle this problem and not, tell the new graduates to go to a job because it is safe, and then, once say a venture fails, we do not really look upon that person, with a very high regard. That is with regard to the society thought process, and secondly with regard to the infrastructure in terms of the funding or support from the government or the general ecosystem. So do you think we're equipped to actually promote people to excel?
I have seen the future going to be a convergence of, since you are all technologists, convergence of technology. There is bioscience, information science, and nanotechnology, and environment, eco. All the four is going to be converging. So this is going to happen. And the environment you have to create for that, there should not be compartmentation between other departments. That means even the graduate, undergraduate level, there should be 6 months project. The syllabus should be carved out so that the multi-departments, multi-technologies, they could do a project and before going out of the campus. That means they are not going as a single technologist, because in future you will find they are looking for system people. Wherever you go, when industry or anywhere you go, have you done a system design, system development, and or you are unique in a particular research, they will ask. So it looks to me we have to create an environment for the such type of research and also system level development. That means interfacing multiple technology. That we have to do.
Sir, I am Vaibhav, a second year, right? Sir, there are steps which need to be taken by the government. There are steps need to be taken by the system. Sir, what according to you can we incorporate into it so that we can bring a change to it?
We as in the students?
Yeah, the students.
What can the students do to bring more innovation and entrepreneurship? I think that's what your question was
sir.
directed towards.
See, as I told you, it's an environment. You got a syllabus, okay? IIT has got a syllabus. So the teachers here, they want to complete the syllabus so that you guys get good marks, okay? So that's the focus. Now what I'm saying, the syllabus, give a room, that 4-year syllabus, that give a room, some sort of a spot should be there out of that 6 months or 9 months period, so that the creativity of the students emanates, and that should be a multi-departmental work. Like for example, biotechnology, information technology, or biotechnology and nanotechnology, or biotechnology and ecology. Like that, that interface should take place. For that, instead of I am asking you, I have to ask that how the syllabus has to be modified, how the teaching type of teachers, the type of quality teachers, we have to research-oriented people, we have to also, we have to enlist so that students will converge to them, wherever research is there. But if there is a syllabus demanded you to go through the syllabus and appear for the exam, you don't have time for the research. But if you got a time, for example, on weekends, you can have an innovation laboratory. Here, for example, a students' community council can think of an innovation laboratory involving multi-departments. That innovation laboratory, students can go and late hours can evolve their own ideas, thoughts and creativity. Some product or software may emanate. So it is in your hand also.
Yes.
You're talking about creativity and fostering this environment. Perhaps we should be starting this in school. I mean, I've heard somewhere that the current education system that we have is something that happened during the Industrial Revolution, where to keep the children of factory workers engaged, they would have one person and all these people sit, 50 children or 100 children sit and study from the same person, which at some level actually stifles creativity. Because you're part of this monotonous system. You go every day, you take these classes, and then you just sort of move on. What are your thoughts on this?
A few months back, I visited a village in Andhra Pradesh. In that village, I was invited to visit, one teacher school. One teacher school? There are some places, there's one teacher. She takes 5 class up to class 5, but 30 students. So I went to that classroom, it was 7 o'clock in the evening. So full moon night. This teacher got all the students outside and showed the moon and put it a blackboard, a paper blackboard she has put there, started explaining moon, what does it do? Why the full moon, what is the significance of it? How much time it takes to orbit the Earth. She didn't stop. Then Earth, it rotates own axis. How much time it takes? He asked the students. And some students respond also. Then day and night, how it comes. And then the teacher asked, the Earth orbits around what? Then some students say it is around the sun. How much time it takes? The one student said it is 1 year, nearly 1 year, 365 days. You know, this is the creative education. This is a creative education, creative classroom, and a creative teacher. Okay? So this is the type of environment you have to create. Followed?
Yes, there.
Sir, my name is Srinivas Gaud. I am MTech final year student. After MTech, we have two opportunities, two ways in research. One is industrial research. Second one is in institute, wherever we go do PhD. You might have seen many industrial laboratories and research laboratories. I want to ask you that which research career is better, because in industry we can work with people from different fields, and from in the research laboratory only one type of fields would be there. So which one you suggest to us, sir?
The IIT central government funded. Okay. Now most of the universities that are highly research oriented, because of industries have tasted the research results. Because the industry comes to the university or IIT, if they know that you can provide a product or a system or a software. So IIT should aim at providing credibility to the industry. IIT can do a great research that will be useful for the industry. So this is my view.
So I want to know who is a good teacher?
Well, it's a good question. For example, when I was a 10-year boy in Rameshwaram Primary School, my teacher was, science teacher was Sivasubramania Iyer. I was a 10-year boy, 5th class. When the teacher enters, we saw he radiates knowledge. And also he radiates purity of life. You know, the two quality I saw in my teacher, that radiates knowledge and radiates purity of life. He's a Gandhian, purity of life I saw. So the students, young age, therefore good role model is a teacher. That teacher, particularly primary, secondary school system, we need a great teachers, okay, with knowledge and purity of life.
Questions? Yes.
So, myself Swati, I'm a MTech final year student. I went through this article on Human Development Index and consumption of various countries, and what I saw was India was at the log phase of the graph, which meant that it has plenty of resources and it's still developing, we all know that. So I just wanted to ask that, I mean, we have plenty of resources and we're still developing. The problem with our country is that there's a very improper management of resources. So what, as a country, we all are doing, you know, to incorporate research into managing all these resources and getting students involved into that?
See, my belief is that, you know, I saw recently the Economist, you know, Economist, a journal comes in. This predicts in 2016, every